Howdy, 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 howdy. Hello, in there. Carla, yes, Finola. Howdy, 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 howdy. Hello, in there. Yeah, I got a story coming up about the Yes album, Not Fragile, about how they got that lick. What come before that? That is a reel-to-reel tape recording of that happening. Rolled backwards. Physically rolled backwards. That's the opening to Not Fragile. Double check me. I love to be fact checked. Unlike people like Donald Trump, who have made a career of lying and misinforming people, says that his primary objective in his business, which if he had a business which had stockholders, would be the fiduciary responsibility. That means monetary money, fiduciary. His responsibility for money would be that of making money for his stockholders. You can go to jail if you do anything other to, you know, corrupt that process. But anyway, see this cup? I'm going to go fill it with water, heat it in a microwave for 1 minute and a half. And at the end of 2.5 minutes, I should be back drinking my cup of coffee. And we'll get into this Fender guitar this afternoon. For us, for a lot of you who've been following me for a while, we got a lot of ground to cover. I bugged out last night, had a hater come in, said I wasn't live, that it was a video. And, I mean, it's a video. It's not live, it's a video. Well, what is this if it's not video? This is a video transmission. I don't care whether it's live or pre-recorded. A video is a freaking video. Not live is accurate. But this is not. This is not a live video. A live video. I don't know. I'm having me a Biden moment. going to fix my coffee. You're here when I come back. So be it. I think I may be just preaching to myself. I got my return monitor on. I'm going to check. I don't think anyone's even watching. Normally they'll put something in the chat there. But it says I have 2 watching. I don't know whether to believe that or not. YouTube is so fickle from time to time. YouTube can't handle the live stream, the YouTube app on the telephone. It just can't handle it. I think what happens is the bit rate and everything, buffer rate, all of that stuff's fixed. The buffer rate, the byte rate for the and size of the buffer is not large enough, and it's fixed and it's not adapted. In other words, it can't roll with the flow, so to speak. So it's going to give you what it's got, and then that causes the video to be jerky, my hand to be right here, and while the audio shows my hands right here on the guitar. That's no good. Excuse me. Therefore, I use the Prism Live Studio app. And the Prism Live Studio app, at times it's kind of hinky too. It can get hinky. And not as bad as the YouTube. And that's what was causing that. My TS808. I'm like, yeah, no shorts. All the wire's good. I'll be back in 2.5 minutes. Quick 2.5 minutes, eh? I figured I'd come back and sit down. I didn't have to stand. I don't have to stand and watch that cup spin around in my microwave. That's about boring as watching water boil. Except it's a little bit quicker. Have you ever sit and watch water boil? It's like waiting for the clock to hit. It's time to go home from work, school, or to your wife, or to your mom and dad. Yeah, you want to stay out as long as you can. Freedom. Let freedom ring. Yeah, we're going to run the neighbors out today. We're going to make the neighbors go get ice cream. Yeah, Snap Crackle Pop, Rice Krispies, San Francisco treat. Yeah, Donald Trump was talking about ISIS. I love listening to Donald Trump. He was he was asked questions about ISIS, and they said, "Do you know how many different branches of ISIS there are? Are you aware of ISIS K?" He says, "Sure, I know who ISIS K is." He said, and then the reporter asked, "Do you know who Special K is?" Of course, they're one of our most adamant enemies. Special K is a cereal produced by Kellogg's. Special K. But I got to give Don and Joe credit. As far as geriatrics go, they may as well be 120 years old for as far as they got. As far as anybody heading to see Jesus, any man make a government his job and ride a train from his home to Washington, D.C., the Senate, of 30 to 30 some years just to become vice president of this country. And then here his son gives his life due to his service for the country, gives it up because he is poisoned by his own country and their mechanism of getting rid of stuff. Oh yeah, Sweet Home Alabama, man. That's a good one. Yeah, everybody has requests for me, but a lot of that stuff's hard to pull off without the appropriate backing tracks. And there's a lot of items that you need that I, as an old person, I've got to pay for a funeral. Yeah, like, like bury me. I got to pay for all that stuff. So I can't get all the peripheral equipment I need to produce things like Sweet Home Alabama. If I had a drum, one of those electronic drum machines where I could create the beat, I got a pretty good ear, or I wouldn't be able to do what I do in a mere 14 months' time. But I'd be able to program the drum machine, and if I had just a cheap El Cheapo bass, I could lay down a bass track. I mean, I'm playing a Fender Hendrix signature guitar, so playing bass should be just as easy. What my real desire is good preamp. And that comes in the form of a reel-to-reel. The reel-to-reel player, I don't know whether you know what a reel-to-reel is. You get a reel-to-reel tape deck and you plug into that puppy like your guitar's a microphone. Then you go to the out, and then that goes to your amplifier. And what that does, it boosts the preamp. It's a preamp pushing the other preamp. It's what a lot of guitar players did They use reel-to-reel players as preamps for the preamps, causing preamps to push harder. I'm not sure exactly what's going on there, but I know you can hear it. So if it's audible, it is. Let's see here. I'd like to Sweet Home Alabama choir, man. That's an interesting number. It's an interesting story about how they came across it. Keep in mind, that was played on a Les Paul. That's played on a flat top. Or, excuse me, a gold top. That's what that was played on, or discovered on. Those guy that wrote that guitar line for that, he wasn't living in the band house. Most of the other people lived in the band house, but, you know, him and his old lady left, you know, they lived separately. He said he came in one morning and they were working on it, and he come up with some of the lyrics, and then he said, well what about this? And that's, you know, he told Dale after that, you can go and look that up yourself, because I know I'm not quite as interesting as what that story is, that's for sure. Yeah, there comes a time when a man knows when it's time to trim his mustache and beard, when he can't put food or beverage in his mouth. It's like getting it all over him. I may cut this one short. Video. No pun intended. Yeah, but this is going to. I don't believe I'll tell you what, if somebody can provide, somebody wants to see me get a haircut, my hair is that near all the way down to my waist. I would say another part of my body, but that would sound kind of crappy. It's the same place. But I'll cut my hair if people will donate $100,000 in my name to Children's Cancer Fund, the Shriners Hospital. I'll do that. I'll shave my head. I'll shave my face. It's going to take $100,000 to donate to those kids. If you want to donate to St. Jude's, hey, that's fine too. Danny Thomas, he was the one that started that. He was from Lebanon. He left Lebanon, and look what they did after he left. Look in the United Nations, United States, and Great Britain, France. Look what they did in the 40s. They were looking for a homeland for the Jews, and they set them down and made them the hornet's nest. The Israelis are the hornet's nest in the Middle East, and they need to quit stealing land. They're looking at the West Bank Now they've been looking at the West Bank for 40 years, building houses over there. Now they're looking at Gaza and looking at it as the biggest real estate venture of their nation's history. I can't handle it. But that's what that Yahoo is, a butt. He knows he's headed for jail, just like Trump knows if he quit playing the victim card and just fess up. I mean, Donald Trump was asked this question by a reporter: have you ever asked Jesus for forgiveness? And if you're a Christian, you know what the tenets are of Christianity and being saved. When you ask forgiveness, and it's granted. But Donald Trump's answer to that question was, why should I ask Jesus for forgiveness? Why? Like, why? Because you're a freaking sinner. We're all sinners. But Donald Trump he says he's Episcopalian. I mean, they're part of Christianity, so I don't know where you get a get out of free. I don't have to ask Jesus for forgiveness card, but I guess the Episcopalians are giving those out. I don't believe the man's been in the church. I know you can read the Bible better if you hold it right side up instead of upside down, like he did in the photo op. Yeah. From St. John's. That's after he had the Black Lives Matter protesters tear gassed up there in D.C. I think they tear gassed them. They were in Lafayette Park. That's his name for Mr. Lafayette. Y'all remember him? He was very consequential in our fledgling democracy, making it. But that's the way of life. Well, I guess